Hey there out in internet land, Gen X Men here with yet another video voicing my hopes and fears about James Gunn's Superman. And what I planned to do, what I wanted to do was wait until basically the day before it released or some such. And as when I made my last video, Gunn stated there's no more trailers. And then we started getting more trailers and more trailers and more trailers. And with each new release trailer, my hopes and fears just got more compounded to the point where man, I need to open the windows, let this air out. So, starting this off, my biggest issue, I guess you call it, is that this version of Superman looks weak, like physically, emotionally, all of it. Gunn has stated he wants to present a Superman that can be beat, making him more relatable to characters like Batman. I don't understand what this means. Superman could always be beat. I mean, Kryptonite, for goodness sake, Doomsday, etc., etc. I mean, Batman had contingents for taking out all of the Justice League, etc. Superman could totally be beat. So I don't. But, however, in its defense, this intent might lend itself to the argument that there's greater potential for growth in a character like that. But to me, that seems like such a narrow argument. I mean, for example, Superman has traditionally been portrayed as someone nearly invulnerable with limitless strength. He's a character that's built on our ancient myths and legends of gods and demigods like Heracles and Gilgamesh and Samson and so on, Thor. Because these characters are so mighty and unconquerable, the stories told around them are kind of two parts, like the rubbernecking fun of watching someone lift an island, and the expectation that the real trials and tribulations for this character are going to lie outside their immense might, which is exactly the kind of great stories about Superman presented in the past. How he must overcome his vulnerability to kryptonite, how he can't be everywhere at once, how he faces down beings, multiple beings, just as mighty as him, how he navigates being a parent, and so on. I mean, all places where his great power has to take different forms to succeed. But Gunn's vision is that instead of telling those stories, he wants to tell the story of a character that's not these things, which I would argue, okay, then that's not Superman, that's someone else. And there are a plethora of characters like that ready and waiting to be explored. So instead of exploring those characters, we're in for a story about a character named Superman that's nothing like the 100 years of portrayals that's come before. Yes, Superman's about to enter the public domain. He's pretty much 100 years old. So yeah, it's been that long. But this plays perfectly into early access reviews calling Gunn's vision unique. If all this ends up being accurate, and right now it's just speculation, but then yeah, if all this is accurate, then yeah, this is going to be a real unique Superman. So it worries me though. I mean, I see a scene where this character is being legitimately questioned about intervention in international affairs and absolutely blows his stack at the questions. And I think, yikes. Now, I'm not a Superman scholar, but I've watched, the movies, I've watched TV shows, I own several of the most must-have comic books, and I don't remember Superman ever blowing his stack because someone said he shouldn't be meddling with foreign countries. The portrayals that I've been presented with in the past, he would basically say, hey, it may not jive with existent foreign policy of this nation or that, but I saw human beings suffering and I stepped in. And that's what this character initially says, but the conversation just turns ugly on a dime. And yeah, that would be a unique vision for Superman for sure. As another example, look what it took for Superman to lose his cool in Kingdom Come. That's what it took for Clark to really lose his temper. But with this Superman, James Gunn's Superman, all it took was some hard, legit questions about from his significant other about foreign policy. So that's something. Another point is that there's also the nagging feeling. Gunn is projecting quite a bit of himself into this character. The crazy dog that clearly needs some serious help. The plot point where Lex Luthor has an army of mutant monkeys trolling Superman on the internet, mirroring Gunn's own history with being attacked out there on social media and so on and so forth. I don't think anyone wants to see James Gunn write himself into the blue tights. I would hope not anyway. But there are mounting moments in the trailers highlighting character traits that have not been reflected in the character of Superman in the past, but have absolutely been reflected in Gunn as a person. And it feels icky. I don't like it. It's not for me. And finally, a recurring trait that I'm really worried about is the screaming. You, I hope you know what I'm talking about, but basically, I- and honestly, I hadn't noticed it with Gunn's writing until I sat down to watch Guardians Volume 3 with the wife. I'd seen it several times before, enjoyed it. Wasn't my favorite, but I enjoyed it. And this was her first screening. And at one point, she looks over at me. She's like, "Why is everybody screaming every other line at each other?" And dang it! After she said that, I couldn't unsee it. I mean, she was right. Nebula especially, but yeah, there was so damn much screaming in that film. Holy crap! I don't want to see a Superman film where screaming takes up half the film. We'll see if Gunn can divest himself of that writing trait with this, but based on the trailers this far, that doesn't seem to be the direction he's wanting to go in.
People were going to die!
So, all that being said, I'm still going to go see it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I want to be wrong. Dear Lord, I want to be wrong. Exactly like I was with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts trailers, they looked yuck, but I kept hearing internet rumblings. It was actually good, so I gave it a go. And you can watch my review, how that turned out right here on this channel. Long story short, my initial impression from the trailers was dead wrong, and I was so dang happy about that. I want to be wrong about this as well. I'm not a person that enjoys hating. It doesn't make me happy to be negative, quite the opposite. But I get a lot, and I mean a lot of lingering doubts and issues with what we're being presented. I'm going to set expectations low and keep my fingers crossed. I'm dead wrong about this one, so we'll see. But that's about all I have for today. If you're excited for Superman, give me a comment down below and let me know why. I'd love to hear from the other side. Or if you agree with me, feel free to let me know as well. Either way, we'll find out here in a couple weeks, regardless. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. I hope I entertained you, if nothing else. Now, I've got some other videos to go get to, so I'll skedaddle for right now and go drink some water, roll some dice, read some comics, watch some cartoons, do something fun. And as always, have a good one.